Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insane Layer 13, as we are preparing to get underway for our 10th race of the IESC GT3 season here on Forza Motorsport 8. Some interesting things have developed, but first I want to go over the championship points as they stand right now. Per usual, we still have a three-way tie between AMS Custom Dips, NDL Wypin, and Smidini with 100 points each for 37th. 36th is Tire Barrier with 130 points. 35th is Extosero with 155. 34th is Grand Wolf 1221 with 180 points. 33rd is SVR Carrera with 185 points. 32nd is SVR Karki. 31st is BDF 48 Gaming with 200 points. 30th is Redline FM with 205. 29th is Deetsbeam with 225 points. 28th is Raygun vs. Zombie with 240 points. 27th is RVN Chaos Fox with 265 points. 26th is HYR Mall with 275. 25th is AMS Virage with 310 points. 24th is HYR Vasco. He has 345 points. 23rd is Tactical Fault with 355 points. 22nd for now is NDL Avocado, the guy who won Le Mans. He has 380 points. However, that's going to get reset once he takes the green flag here, as he is switching from the McLaren, which he's done so incredibly well with, to run the Lexus instead. 21st is TFB Matter with 390 points. 20th is SDR Dremora with 435 points. 19th is FM Esports with 445. 18th is Dino Prime 77 with 455. 17th is Cam Worthy with 490 points. 16th is NFL Racer with 750 points. 15th is RZXU5 with 775 points. 14th is AMS Beast with 785 points. 13th is AMS Mercs with 905 points. 12th is AMS Rambo with 980 points. 11th is AMS Indoctra with 1,035 points. 10th is AMS Andrew 14. He has 1,110 points. 9th is PM221 with 1,355 points. 8th is PTG Little Caesar with 1,405 points. Then we start getting to the drivers that are really serious when it comes to this. 7th is Prius Killer 8110. He has 1,460 points. 6th is RZM Valkyrie, who hasn't shown up for the last 2 weeks. He has 1,495 points. 5th is Ludicrous Speed with 1,575 points. 4th is SRD Shredder with 1,610 points. And then our 3 championship contenders. 3rd is NDL Dindu. He has 1,645 points. 2nd is PTG J Caesar. He has 1,760 points. And your current points leader is AMS Mean 212. He has 1,855 points at this stage of the season. So, with the points lineup, with the points set as they're supposed to be now, we are going to go ahead and run down some of the interesting things to consider. For one, we do have some interesting fights in the upper midfield, well, the top 10 in the championship right now. There are a few drivers farther down the order that will just be taking home points and will be gaining a lot of positions, but mostly against guys who haven't shown up to a lot of races. The interesting thing, PTG J Caesar saying that once again he's not very confident with how the car is, thinks that the balancing could have been done better. He is not happy at all. 3 drivers are representing the Lexus today. One of them is TFB Matter. The other one is your points leader, AMS Mean. But NDL Avocado, who won at Le Mans with the McLaren, is the other one. Avocado, like I mentioned, he is going to have a complete points reset, likely going more for glory hunting for race wins, trying to min-max what the best car in the grid is, rather than actually trying to go for any sort of points. Once again, we only have one Acura entry in the series, that is PM221, so that Honda-powered Acura, which dominated the first half of the season, took home 5 wins in the first 7 races. The main driver, who basically was walking off and dominating the championship, seems to have either ignored the series, moved on, or what, but it's made things interesting. Also, PM221 is going to be in a prolonged fight, likely for the 9th place position in the championship fight. SRD Shredder is on the outside of a title fight. We are almost guaranteed to see him show up for the rest of the season races. However, he needs to start actually winning races. He did get his first podium position finish 2 weeks ago at Hockenheim, as we're going to try and load back onto the circuit again. I didn't even bother reacting the first time they load onto the track, because I know that there's always going to be some bullcrap that happens the first time they load on. It's inevitable. One interesting thing as well is that this was originally supposed to be a race at Road Atlanta. However, because a lot of people in this series absolutely have no idea how to tune a car to go over bumps, everyone is scared of Road Atlanta in this game, which has very extreme bumps and curves. And there was a massive vote to kick Road Atlanta out and instead bring this circuit in instead. That's very interesting because Sunset's Roval really only has 2 high-speed corners. One is the grand sweeper that is the final corner, and then this 45-degree right-hander, which is turn 1 that you see the field going through. After that, though, all the other corners around this circuit are all very slow start and stop, very torque-focused corners. So with that in mind, you could be looking at a very interesting race today where the cars that normally are at the front may not be guaranteed to be at the front. I don't think that's actually how it's going to be what happens. I think the people at the front are at the front because they have better tuners, but that is a possibility because with a circuit that is 80% decided by torque and rear end grip and only a little bit decided by top end speed, I think things could be interesting. AMS Mead and NDL Avocado are going to be locking out the front row with the Lexus, so if that tells you anything, it seems like the Lexus is possibly the top car in today's event. As the field is getting lined up right now, AMS Mead 212 is your pole sitter, followed by NDL Avocado. Rail camera. Followed by NDL Avocado, then NDL Dindu is going to be starting 3rd. 4th will be PTG J Caesar. 5th will be AMS Rambo. 6th will be PM221. 7th will be Ludicrous Speed. Then 8th will be AMS Indoctro. 1 second. 8th will be AMS Indoctro, followed by Prius Killer 8110. Andrew and NFL Racer will round the back of the field along with Shredder, and then Matter will be at the very back of the grid. Real quickly, just want to take a look at the points of interest cameras. You'll get a great shot into turn 2, which is where I anticipate we'll see a good amount of overtaking happen in this event. We also have here this section almost dead in the middle of the infield, and then we have one more shot that will be the last 2 corners before they get onto the oval section proper. But Mead with another pole position. I believe this is only his 2nd pole position this season. Remember, it was the Ferrari, I believe, of Dindu that took home pole at Hockenheim, but due to tire issues could only bring him home 2nd in the end. As we watch our field as they go down the mini infield straightaway here. It's not really very straight. By the time you get onto it, you're coming from an extreme outside. You immediately are hard on the wheel to try and straighten out, and then just about the time you get the car straightened out, you immediately have to hurt the wheel again. Like I said, all of the infield sections are all dominated by very, very, very difficult slow speed corners. There is a more proper back straightaway here, very narrow, and you have a chicane coming into it, and then a hard 60-degree left-hand corner coming out of it. So, yeah, actually making overtakes here is going to be very difficult. I imagine most of the overtakes we'll see will either be based off of tire strategy, and then maybe a few on starts, and if we get restarts, will be done in this big sweeper, the banked corners. Reminder, at Daytona, Mead could have won the race after Valkyrie had that accident. However, things sort of fell apart when a yellow flag came late in the event that put him up near the top. Valkyrie had that big accident but got reset. All right, here we are coming out of the final corner now. 6 rows of 2 and then Matter all by himself as the field is lined up right now. Double file all the way through. Lexuses, watch out the front row. Will they be able to do that at the end as they come to the start-finish line, neck and neck? Green flag with 5 races to go in the season, and we are underway here at Sunset Peninsula. As you see the field rushing down now into turn 2, the first heavy braking zone of the season. They are 4 wide at some points there, but at the front it is Mead who holds station. Dingo has moved up into 2nd. More interesting than me though, Avocado, who started 2nd, has slipped all the way back to the 6th spot as they come running right alongside the command Coast. If this was a real track, that's where I would actually probably be set to watch this. And you can see Avocado really struggling right now, he gets a little bit sideways, knocked sideways, PM221 goes by, there's AMS and Doctro and the dodge lends to the inside, and there's 3 wide, nearly putting ludicrous speed into the outside wall, and FL Racer ends up going to the outside wall instead. Mead has opened up a small gap, and Mead and Dindu have scooted away from the field. Third place is Rambo. This is Rambo's best start to a race this entire season. I don't remember Rambo being a Lexus. I thought Matter was the other. All right, I guess we may have 4 Lexus cars then. But still, with this in mind, Rambo has moved his way up into third, trying to keep PTG Jay Caesar behind him. Jay Caesar desperately looking for his first win of the season. He needs to start winning races if he wants any shot at making anything happen. At the front, you can see Mead trying to scoot away from Dindu. Dindu will have the draft off of the Lexus, though. Draft is going to be incredibly important here. PTG Jay Caesar also dragging Ludicrous Speed up with him. Shredder is not even in the top 10 right now. Look at Ludicrous Speed sliding that Chevrolet into the dirt. That's going to kill his momentum. They are side by side briefly ahead of him. Avocado has recovered up into the 6th position now, but everyone seems to have already single filed out pretty quickly here. We are going to be in this race for a long time, let me tell you that. We have 52 racing laps in today's event, and I'm really interested to see what kind of tire strategy is going to work, because you are hurting the wheel a lot, but you're not carrying a lot of speed into many of these corners. I think a lot of the tires can actually last some time. Ludicrous has gotten off circuit, and Avocado lunges through one of those infield chicane sections that has just absolutely killed the Chevrolet's ability to hold station. But at the front, Indio Dindu stays within a half second of Mead. Mead did not have a good run onto this infield back straightaway. Dindu has a great toe on him right now. Remember, Dindu took that Ferrari to a victory back at Spa. Spa is a circuit we think of as typically being a high downforce track, but in the rain, it was all about traction. Dindu does seem to have figured out a way to maximize traction in his machine. However, the Lexus does seem to have a significant top speed advantage right now. As you can see, even with draft working in the Ferrari's favor, Mead is slowly pulling away from the Ferrari. There is a 3-way fight, though, for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Avocado has fallen behind Rambo, nose to tail. All right, there is no way that all these drivers are all in Lexuses. There has got to be something wrong here. There is no way that all of these drivers are in Lexuses. Well, Avocado is now moved by Rambo for the moment and is now trying to put his focus forward towards Dindu. Caesar seems to be stuck right now in the 5th position. And Ludicrous Speed is back there in 6th, but seems to have lost touch with this fight for the moment. But Avocado, who has now moved himself back up into 3rd using the straight line performance of the Lexus. It seems like right now it is a Lexus fest, unless you are TFB Matter, who does not have a top team Torah tune provided to him, and I think that is going to be the one thing that pretty much decides this against him. But to his credit, the entire back of the field is still relatively close and bound together right now. So Avocado has already run down 1st and 2nd place, so I don't want to say it, but it has to be said, the balancing at today's race has been absolutely horrible. It seems like Lexus is the only car able to make overtakes. The Lexus is just so much faster in this big straight line. As long as you don't make a stupid mistake in the chicanes, you're going to win by default. I think we're going to see a 1-2-3 finish by Lexuses unless they burn their tires up. Avocado now lines up behind AMS Mead as Indio Dindu has fallen to 3rd. There's just nothing you can do. The straight line speed advantage in the Lexus is so massive, there's nothing that can be done. So the question now is just going to be how long will it take AMS Rambo to dispose of Caesar and then catch Dindu and dispose of him. Avocado now goes to the outside of AMS Mead. Mead is going to pinch him on the outside. Dindu has already pretty much lost touch with this fight at the front. This is going to be one of those races. So Avocado just tries to go around the outside in one of the slower corners. The two Lexuses continue to hit side by side, but it's very obvious that Avocado has a superior tune. Now Dindu will come back through. This race is basically over in Avocado's favor. Why am I even here? If he's that much faster in a lap, even if he has to make an extra pit stop, it's not going to matter. I don't know why I'm even here. So when it comes to the championship fight, the only interesting part is going to be if Dindu can close in on Mead. The thing is that Mead's in the Lexus is faster. The Ferrari just can't make any overtakes, as the only overtaking spot is down the front straightaway. Unless the driver ahead makes a mistake, Dindu closes in turn 1. He looks to the inside, dives on the inside of Mead, and the car immediately slides out, nearly puts him in the dirt, and the Lexus goes right back by, no issue whatsoever. And Jay Caesar, who is ahead of Dindu in the points, is all the way back in 5th right now. Rambo has gotten by him, so Lexus hold 3 of the top 4 positions. Dindu is the only non-Lexus in the field right now. Man, of all the races thus far this season, I think this is the most significant balance issue we have had all year long. So Avocado's already a second and a half up the road, so he's guaranteed to win this race, and he'll probably just continue to steal wins from everyone else throughout the season as he'll continue to change it to whatever car will enable him to win races easily. I can say that with near 100% guarantee. Here's a fight of sorts between 4th and 5th. AMS Rambo trying to keep Jay Caesar behind. Jay Caesar is in the BMW. Right now, he has the draft off of the Lexus machine. Ludicrous Speed is in the Chevrolet, about a second and a half behind this duo. Jay Caesar is tucked up right behind the Lexus. Will he be able to try and make a move? We saw earlier the Ferrari of Dindu make a dive on Mead going into turn 2. Couldn't keep it together though. Ended up watching wide. Oh, and Rambo's hard into the wall. Rambo with a gigantic impact and stopped right in the middle of the track. The car is heavily damaged. Oh my goodness, the car is absolutely totaled. Oh, and he's hit by AMS and Doctro. That might have been a little bit suspicious. AMS and Doctro came in completely sideways, but there's no way he didn't know that Rambo wasn't there, and the two of them absolutely destroyed at the rear of the field. This will likely see the yellow flag with how massive of an instant that was. Well, AMS Rambo seems to be trying to go backwards to try and make it to the pit lane, considering how much damage there is in the car, and I'm guessing Indoctro is doing the same. Well, so now only 2 Lexuses are running at the head of the field right now, as Rambo and Indoctro are in the pits. Rambo's Lexus will be knocked to the back of the field. Matter is in the other Lexus that doesn't have any official top tour tune at all, is also locked in the back of the grid right now. Real quickly, while we continue to watch the field circle around, we'll go ahead and take a look at everyone's fuel and tires, even though we've really only gotten about 5 laps into this race. Avocado, who is at the front, is at 27% on the left rear tire right now. Followed behind him is AMS Mead. Mead is currently at 18.3%, but that is on the left front. So Mead and Avocado are wearing different tires at different rates. Then you have Dindu, who is in the 3rd position right now, and Dindu is at 18% tire wear, 18.2, almost evenly around the entire circuit. PTC Jay Caesar, who is going to be 4th, is currently with a 19.1% tire wear, and then Ludicrous Speed, who is in 5th position, is running with 18%, almost 19% on the left front. So what tire is going off first seems to be a lot more up in the air, as they're going to let AMS Rambo and AMS Indoctro go by now to go ahead and get their laps back. we may be under yellow flag for a long time if we are going to wait for the two of them to gather up to the rear of the grid, which could end up very significantly impacting the flow of this race here. And I have to wonder how many pit stops are going to be made by Avocado if he's already in the 25% tire life range. If he's just going to try and bang out a bunch of stints on soft tires, well, he's already going to have to pit around lap 13, 14, 15-ish, I would imagine, and then would likely have to do that 2 more times. He could be committing to a 3-stop, trying to maximize his runs on soft tires all the way through. He did do that at Le Mans, but at Le Mans, everyone was mandated to make 2 pit stops, so it didn't really mean anything. And it looks like they are under a red flag because we are going to have to spend forever waiting for the back of the grid to actually catch the leaders. Fantastic. So we're just waiting right now for the moment. As the AMS teammates gradually circle their way back around to the rear of the grid. Now this duo will have a tire and fuel advantage. It's not going to be a massive one, but they will have a slight tire and fuel advantage once they get going green again. It looks like the field is now starting to roll once more. So 2 Lexuses near the back of the grid, and then 2 Lexuses will be at the head of the field. The interesting thing is going to be Avocado. He was over a second a lap faster than Mead, but is likely going to have to make an extra stop. Is Avocado going to be fast enough to outrun a extra pit stop, or is it going to go to Mead? Didn't seems to be in the same range as Mead when it comes to lap times, was able to keep pace with him. However, the Ferrari, realistically no car except for the Lexuses, seem to be able to make overtakes on track today. It seems like the only overtaking zone that is not off the back of someone else having an incident is the run from the final corner down towards turn 2, and only the Lexuses have enough speed to do anything with that. So when we go to the green, when we come back to the green here, it looks like AMS Rambo is going to come. Okay, so they're both going to take emergency service, so that's going to cycle them well out of sequence now, as the 2 of them have to take emergency service for having pitted during the yellow flag. Mead pulls out of line. I didn't know that was allowed. As we get underway, Mead pulls out of line. And the thing is, it did not work out quite as well as he wanted. Didn't gets to his inside here. As we see the field rush down now into turn 2 once again. They are 2 wide throughout the middle of the field once more. Avocado is already scooted away a little bit. Mead does have a draft advantage right now, and there is a fight for third as we see that Didn't and PTG J. Caesar having a fight. Is the Ferrari trapped on the outside? You get trapped on the outside, that grass will slow you down. The BMW has to deal with the fact that he's going to be going over some curves side by side onto the short inner straightaway. It's not really a straight, and it looks like Didn't holds station over J. Caesar. That is Lucas Speed, who is in 5th, tucked up right behind the BMW for now. And both of the Lexuses have already scooted away from the rest of the field. Yep, they're gone. This time Didn't has lost touch with Mead, and Mead has already lost touch with Avocado. The big question, of course, is going to be Avocado is likely going to have to pit twice. I think Mead is going to be on a single stop strategy. All right, now we see a fight on track between 2 non-Lexuses. Does the BMW of J. Caesar have enough straight line speed to make a move on Didn't coming into turn 1, or maybe even make a dive into turn 2? He's tucked up, he looks on the outside, and the nose of the car is slightly ahead at the line. Side by side to turn 1, Didn't has the inside line choice. J. Caesar goes wide, gets sideways, now tries to cross over, tries to get to the inside. The Ferrari can't make it stick. Overtakes are just not going to happen here for most of the field, it looks like. As we look down towards the middle of the field, AMS Andrew, the only AMS car not involved in that big accident earlier, holding station over Shredder and Prius Killer. This is not the performance that Shredder wants to have. Shredder, we know that his real fight has been with Ludicrous Speed for what is now 4th in points, but if he had a good run and the championship leaders had a bad run, he could put himself in title contention. But right now with Ludicrous 5th and Shredder in 7th, this is not looking good for the driver of the lone Mercedes entry right now. Most of the field is relatively close to each other in terms of position on track, but just no one is able to make a single overtake. All of the corners are just too slow and too tight. You can go side by side through them, but for the most part, whoever enters the corner ahead is going to be in a better position on corner exit, considering you can just deny someone on the outside line a run. You see Prius Killer tucking up behind Shredder, looking to try and do something into turn 2. He dives, slides, and misses the corner. That's been the story of the entire race. You can make dives. You can go ahead and do all sorts of dives into turn 2, but being on the inside and launching hard into turn 2 is only going to wash you out wide. You see PM221 try to do something against NFL Racer, can't, and immediately falls behind. Between AMS Rambo and AMS Indoctor, Rambo, who is in the Lexus, has already made up about half of the gap between itself and the back of the field right now. So one interesting question is just going to be how much position can Rambo make up before the end of this race here. PM still tucked up behind NFL Racer in the Honda. The Dodge has, without a doubt, been the worst performing manufacturer of all the manufacturers this season. Has not come into a top 5 finish once this year. PM is not able to run him down in a straight line. We know that the Acura has a great acceleration advantage, but it seems like the acceleration is more from the middle to high speed, not from these ultra low speeds that we're looking at on exit of most of these corners. Avocado 4 seconds ahead of second place. Dindu has pulled away from Jay Caesar a little bit. All right, do we have a run coming here? PM has a big run on NFL Racer. He looks to the inside, does not have the speed to do it. Will he try a dive on the inside in turn 2? Every driver we've seen try it has not been able to make it stick. PM looks to it, gets into NFL's bumper, and actually just forces the Dodge offline. Then he gets sideways as well. Now the Dodge is tucked up behind him. Will he try and make a move back? No, it looks like the Acura is by. So if you put the bumper to someone, you can make an overtake stick, it would appear. It's a little bit up the road. SRD Shredder is continuing to keep Prius Killer behind him. AMS Andrew is just a little bit up the field, but Shredder is not close enough to do anything to that machine. Out of draft, well, just barely in drafting range, and with the changes that have come with the drafting physics, with the NASCAR update that dropped a few weeks ago, I think it's been a change for the worse, at least around here. Avocado, 5.5 seconds ahead of me. Oh, and Shredder's all sorts of sideways coming onto the banking. Prius is actually going to get by him. So yeah, you can make overtakes if the driver ahead has mistakes. But otherwise, this is all going to come down to strategy. Can you out-strategize your rivals on the track? That's what's all going to come down to for just about every position. And even then, with the gaps that are rapidly forming on the grid, that might not be enough to move you up a position or two. So now the question is, who is going to be the first driver to jump onto the next set of tires? Who's going to start the first round of pit stops? AMS Andrew is there in 6, and Prius is trying to run him down. Prius running in the BMW machine. Real quickly, I just want to look at our race leader at the moment and look at what his telemetry says. 47%, 47.8%, 47.9% on both of those left side tires right now. So if he's not pitting in the next 3 laps, I'd be shocked. As opposed, Mead, who is in second, he is at 33%. So I would not be surprised if Mead is going to try and do a medium strategy and try to get to around lap 26 or 27 on this rubber. While Avocado, I can almost guarantee you, is going to have to make it to about lap 16, 17, 18, probably around there. I mean, you take 3 into 54, and that would be 19. No, that wouldn't be 19. That would be 3 goes into 54, 1, 2, 18. So yeah, Avocado will likely have to drag these tires out to about 18 laps. He is so much faster, and the Lexus is just by far way faster than everything else. If he's trying to just maximize running in clean air, this could be interesting, because he's going to be on faster tires for the majority of the race, but when he pits, he's likely going to end up in the middle of the field here. All right, so Shredder runs behind Prius right now, has not been able to set up a move whatsoever. Most of the field, I think, is going to try a one-stop strategy. Avocado pretty much guaranteed a 2, and then obviously the AMS duo of Rambo and Doctor, who had that big accident earlier, we know they will have to make a second stop just because of how early their accident came. Really, technically, it will be a third stop by them. Shredder tucks up to the side of the BMW. That is PM221, second place finisher in the first season of IESC, way back in 2018. He is tucked up behind Shredder as well right now, as they come onto the back straightaway. Can the Acura make an overtake on the Mercedes? We saw PM get really aggressive with his bumper earlier. Is he going to do that again here? So Shredder should, if he doesn't let the car slide out, get a good... No, he let the car slide out. He took an outside line. That outside line just is not faster unless you're guaranteed that you're going to get a big toe all the way around. It seems like taking a tighter inside line is the way to go. Shredder loses a position to PM now based off of just having a really bad choice of lane. Will PM make a drive on Prius and put the bumper to the BMW? No, not this time. And the BMW will accelerate out, away. Mead has completely ditched didn't do, and Jay Caesar is starting to close back in. So we could have a fight for third on track, which would also be indicative of the fight for second in the points. But right now, the most interesting part on the circuit right now is this little three-way fight here. So we've not really done it a whole lot, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to spend a full lap on board with the Lexus of AMS Rambo and run silently on board for a lap so you get an idea what a flying lap is like in the most overpowered car we've seen in the race all season long. We'll go silent for a full lap on board the Lexus of Rambo. right, and that is a full lap on board with the Lexus involved in that early race incident there. PM has gotten by Shredder, and this group are about 5th all the way to 8th, are all tucked right up on top of each other. Andrew leads Prius, who leads PM, who leads Shredder, and no one is able to make a single move on track. You can see Prius putting Andrew under some pressure. He goes around the outside, but outside line just doesn't work around here unless you're in a Lexus. Oh, and he turns him! Prius gets into Andrew and turns Andrew. Now Andrew is able to save the drive, save the slide, but it backs Prius up, it backs Shredder, it backs PM up. Now Shredder gets on their inside and is going to drag race them down this mini back straightaway, and Shredder still side by side with the BMW from Prius, and Shredder is going to slide way offline. Prius is going to get on the inside. Who's going to have the acceleration? It looks like it's going to be PM. The Acura, despite being knocked out, well, not knocked out, but held up on the backstretch, will have the superior straight line speed, and now he moves up into the 6th position. As you see the fight as it rushes down now into turn 2 once more. Shredder tries, but just can't do anything to get by these cars on track. He's only been able to get everyone, for the most part, has only been able to gain positions from incidents by other drivers. And now Prius, who had the biggest mistake of all, hitting Andrew and kicking Andrew so sideways. And now Prius has kicked another person sideways. This is 2 drivers now that Prius and the BMW has ran into in a braking zone, has completely spat them sideways. And all the while, this is going to let AMS Rambo and the Lexus that was involved in an accident earlier creep back up to them. And that is also Prius Killer that Rambo has brought back into the fight as well. Now, while this has happened, while we were on board with Rambo earlier, this man here, this man here, Indiel Avocado, made his first stop. Avocado still banging out laps in completely clean air right now, though absolutely no one is holding him up. He is so much faster than everyone else. The big thing, though, he pitted at about lap 14, lap 15. If you want to make it a 3-stop race, you'd probably be okay. If you want to make a 2-stop race, you would have to go into like lap 16, but if you want to make it a 3-stop race, and we saw a 3-stop strategy tried 2 weeks ago at Hawkins. If you want to make it a 3-stop strategy, though, do 4 stints in this race, you'd have to pit about every 12 laps, so he's gone a little longer than what you would do for a 4-stop, but not long enough for a 3-stop. Now, we did turn all those laps under yellow, so I wonder if Avocado has saved a bit of his tire life, and he's going to just go a lot harder on these tires in these remaining sets. He may still be committed to a 3-stop strategy. And normally I would say that would be a problem, but considering how extreme the inability to overtake for anything that's not a Lexus is, it might work. Lexuses just are disposing of traffic like it does not exist, and then everyone else is not able to make a single move anywhere. Rambo tucked up now behind SRD Shredder in the Mercedes. Onto the infield back straightaway. And you can see he's already run him down, got the bumper to him. Is he going to make a dive into the corner? He's got the speed. He'll be alongside, and yes, he's already by. So basically, every time they have anything close to a straightaway, the Lexuses are able to dispose of the cars. It does not matter what is going on. So Rambo is playing, I think the term is autocross, so we're just trying to pass as many cars as possible right now. Rambo, even with that big accident earlier, may have enough speed that he could bring that machine up to a top 5 with the weight that he is going. Now, the Shredder is stuck right behind the Lexus's rear bumper. Is he going to make a dive into turn 2? No, he is not. And interestingly enough, there is this fight for second that is starting to kick up, though. Jay Caesar has caught Didn't Do once again. Real quickly, as I look at the tires, 53% for Jay Caesar. What is it looking like for Didn't Do? 50%. So Dindu is better on his tires, but Jay Caesar has dragged him back in. This is going to be a fight for... I really don't know. This could be a fight. It says second on track right now, but this fight could be for positions as far down as 4th or 5th, depending on how all the other Lexuses turn out. I think Matter is the only Lexus that can't really do anything here. And Rambo has already, in this Lexus, has already got himself up to 6th position, just disposing of cars like there's no issue whatsoever. He's now running down his teammate AMS Andrew, the only AMS driver who has not been involved in an accident. Rambo has basically come back from an accident and a penalty, a mandatory extra stop as they came to the green flag. Jay Caesar has gotten by Dindu, credit where credit is due, so Jay Caesar seems to be a little bit better on the worn tires. Dindu has a little bit more life in the tires, but it looks like as the tires are wearing off, Caesar is a bit better than Dindu in managing it. So how long will it take Rambo to get by his teammate? The difference in speed is so massive. He's tucked up behind. If Rambo only wants to make one more stop, he can actually stay on track a little longer than most of the other people on circuit right now. Also, Avocado. Oh! Rambo slaps the outside wall there. So Rambo is not really hitting 10/10ths like we were expecting everyone else to. I thought he would be a little bit cleaner, but no, it seems like he might just not be as happy with the handling of that Lexus as the others are, but it's not mattering. He is just so much faster than everything else. Even with, I'm watching, he is taking some horrible lines in a lot of these corners. This is not mattering one bit. Meanwhile, the fight for second continues. Dindu holds station over Jay Caesar. Caesar looks to the outside. It does look like Dindu has a very slight advantage in a straight line and in the turn 1 bend. Jay Caesar, is he going to dive? No, he will not. But Dindu slides out wide. Jay Caesar follows him though. They stay bumper to bumper. This is an interesting fight. And we have seen that somehow these two drivers are able to make overtakes, but no one else is. And Jay Caesar slides wide into the outside wall. So these drivers, they'll have to make through about lap 26, 27 if they don't want to have to pit again. Real quickly, looking at our race leader, if he does not pit, if he only pits once, he is at 56% tire life. He could make it work, but his tires are going to be hurting. What about our second and third place drivers? Dindu is at the 55% range, so Dindu's actually a little bit better off on tires than Bede is. And then Caesar, who committed to multiple stops 2 weeks ago, 59, nearly 60%. A lot of these drivers, I don't know how they're going to make it to lap 26 or 27. And mind you, they had yellow flag laps earlier that they could run, and that would help them saving tire life. We had about 2 full laps under yellow, which would help all these drivers save tire life. And still, I'm not sure how many of them are actually going to be able to make it work here. So AMS Andrew in the Dodge has slipped. No, that's not a Dodge, that's a Aston, has slipped to 8th, and Ludicrous Speed in 4th is pitting on lap 23. And he is not the only one. AMS Andrew is pitting as well. So these drivers are maybe trying something else. They may be trying a medium soft strategy. They have not made it to the halfway point, but if they think they can pull the soft long enough, it might not matter. So we're now seeing some interesting shake-up in strategies. Ludicrous Speed has completed his stop, will likely be on soft tires. AMS Andrew is going to do the same. Right now, PM221 is hanging out in the 5th position right now, but AMS Rambo has completely left him behind in the dirt. And honestly, XRD Shredder, who had been behind PM earlier, has gradually lost touch with him. NDL Avocado is the next driver that is going to catch this duo and run them down. Avocado is on fresher softs, absolutely just burning out laps, no problem. He's not had any issue overtaking anybody. The only question is really going to be between Avocado and Mead. Mead is on a 1-stop. Avocado, I think, is on a modified 2-stop strategy. I'm really interested to see between Mead and Avocado who ends up ahead, because Mead's cutting out an entire pit stop, but Avocado, if he catches Mead near the end, he is going to be on much faster tires. And And when the two of them were up front earlier, we saw that Avocado was gaining about a second lap. All right, second and third, Dindu and Jay Caesar are paired on lap 24. So are they also doing a medium soft soft strategy? Are they also doing a two-stop medium soft soft? PM is pitting, SRD Shredder is pitting. This is great news for Avocado though. This means he won't have to worry about anything whatsoever. Now 2 AMS drivers hold the top 2 positions as AMS Mead and Rambo hold the top 2 spots. Rambo is going to be out on track for a while, we know, because Mead is still on the same tires he started on, but Rambo had to pit mandatory after the yellow flag that he caused. NFL Racer is now up into the 4th position. This is probably the best result, even though it's in the middle of a race just off of tire strategy. But these are the best positions, 4th and 5th, that we've seen Dodges in this entire season. AMS and Doctorow runs 5th. NDL Dindu right now holds station over Jay Caesar by about 2 seconds. So the Ferrari pulled away from the BMW in pit lane, it would appear. And Jay Caesar is now going to have to try and run the Ferrari back down for a shot at what I think is going to be a shot for 4th position at best, just considering how much faster Rambo, Avocado, and Mead is. This is a fight for 4th position. And then you have this little fight here. AMS Andrew has SRD Shredder PM221 behind him. And then way back is Prius and then TFB Matter, who is honestly at risk of going a lap down. And AMS Rambo is pitting on lap 25. Okay, so Mead is going to have almost an entire pit stop over the rest of the field when he finally makes his one stop. And Indoctro is going to join Rambo on pit lane. So NFL Racer will move briefly, I think, up into the 3rd position, maybe? I don't know. The gap between the Lexuses and everyone else might be so big it might not matter. No, NFL will end up in 3rd. NDL Dindu will end up in 4th. And AMS Rambo is going to fall out of the top 5 as PTG Jay Caesar is now going to be 5th. Rambo now accelerating out of pit lane. Here comes AMS Andrew. He'll see his AMS teammate up ahead, but is not going to be able to do anything. So right now, the gap is between 1st and 2nd. Mead still has yet to make his first stop. Avocado's already made his first stop. And the question there is, when is Avocado going to make his 2nd stop? He is so much faster than the leader, but is 18 seconds behind, has to race this down and then make another stop after that. Avocado, I believe, is committed to a 3-stop strategy. I think everyone else is on a 2-stopper. And I would anticipate Avocado will be hitting in the next few laps here real quickly. Look at his telemetry. He is on a harder set of tires, I guess. Okay, so Avocado jumped onto softs in the first stint of the race. Now is on harder rubber. So he may only be doing a 2-stop. Might be trying a soft, medium soft strategy instead to try and run down Mead. So NFL Racer, who has yet to make his first... Oh, didn't do slap the wall at the head of NFL Racer. But NFL Racer, who has yet to make his first stop of the race, is now slipped down to 4th. Is he on hards or something? But whatever he's on is really not looking good. He is about to hit 70% wear. But I think NFL Racer is going to be matching Mead's strategy on trying to complete this race on a single stop. Just... with how that Dodge is handling, I don't feel great. And again, NFL Racer, you're not yet at the halfway point technically, and they've had pace laps to help with tire saving. And NFL Racer is just not looking good at all. The one-stop strategy might give him track position, but he's going to have to pay the piper nastily now, and he's going to have to do the same thing real bad again later. Mead has stayed out for another lap. Avocado has walked the gap down, though, to about 13 seconds. So the gap is closing at seconds a lap right now. I think Mead may have pushed his tires a bit too far. Yeah, I think we can confidently say that Mead has pushed his rubber too far. He is keeping the car off the wall for the most part, as NFL Racers finally made his stop. Mead, again, is the last driver to pit. But again, Avocado is likely going to have to make one more stop as well. The big thing, though, is that both Mead and Avocado, with one stop left, Mead is going to be on worse tires than Avocado for basically the rest of this race. And Avocado is leading multiple seconds a lap from Mead's lead at the moment. I'm not sure this is going to work out in Mead's favor. I could be wrong, but I don't know if this is going to work out in his favor. This one-stop strategy, which has been the thing that has brought him so much success throughout the season, one of the reasons he is up front, he has not pitted yet. Why? You're at 70% tire wear, and you are hemorrhaging time. Why have you not pitted? I mean, if he goes a lap longer now, he won't have to go a lap longer later, but still, he is losing multiple seconds a lap in the infield section. I cannot fathom what his strategy is, if he even has one. All right, farther back, AMS Rambo, after having made his stop, has caught Ludicrous speed once more. The Lexus is tucked up behind. The Chevrolet should make an easy overtake in a straight line. The Chevy just does not have, the Chevy has good speed, but does not have the same level of speed as the Lexus. Oh, and Rambo slides wide and nearly wrecks the same way he did earlier. So Rambo does not seem to be very happy with that car in the heavy draft going to turn one. And that will keep him locked behind Ludicrous for a little bit. But how much faster that car is in a straight line, it's only a matter of time before he gets by the Chevrolet. PM221 and SRD Shredder are having a little spat for 8th and 9th still. This is honestly looking to be one of Ludicrous's best performances. It's just with the speed of the Lexuses, it's not going to show in his end result. He pulled out a top 5 at Hockenheimring, our last race 2 weeks back. And honestly, I think he's driving better now than he was then. Mead has finally made his stop. I think Ludicrous is driving better now than he was then. It's just with all the Lexuses, he's going to be shuffled down the order with 4 different Lexuses, 3 of them being afforded Torah level tunes. It really just does not matter. I think Ludicrous is going to be relegated to a 6th place finish at best. Not through any fault of his own. He's legitimately driving a great race. So how many spots back is Mead going to fall, and how long will it take Mead to start making overtakes on track? That's the next question. Rambo finally clears Ludicrous speed, has the inside line going into turn 1. They're a little bit sideways, and Rambo a little sideways under braking, sideways under throttle, but he's already clear of the Chevrolet. AMS Andrew and Mead on top of each other right now. Andrew runs ahead of Mead at the moment. So Mead, oh, and Andrew slapped the outside wall there. Shredder is tucked up behind PM221 a little bit farther back. Andrew, is there something wrong with Andrew's car? Has he taken damage after hitting the wall there? Not by the looks of it. Just does not seem to be very happy with the Aston and is having trouble keeping the thing straight. Granted, he's been hitting walls, he's been hit by cars, he's hit other cars. For the AMS guys in general, this is just not looking like a great time. So Avocado has an 18.5-second lead over Dindu at this stage of the race, but when he pits, he's not going to have to make as many overtakes. And he's not really struggled too much with overtakes, but making fewer overtakes means that he'll be even faster. And again, I anticipate our leader, Avocado, will make one more stop and put on soft tires again, coming to the end of this race. Mead is just kind of hanging out behind Andrew. He is not pushing the Lexus really hard. He's just trying to salvage tires right now. I really thought we would see Mead be a lot more aggressive, making a lot more moves to try and get into clean air, but seems like he's content to run behind his teammate for the moment. PM221 still keeps Shredder behind him. This duo has swapped positions several times after instincts between both of them have caused both of them to lose lap times and let the lap time and track position lets the other car get back ahead. They were fighting with Prius Killer earlier, but Prius has fallen well out of the fight with them. Same with AMS and Doctoro. Right now, it is PM who holds station over Shredder. Dindu in the lone Ferrari runs second, on pace to finish, I believe, in the 4th position. PM is actually in a position that, if things work out, he could start getting a toe off of Mead. So Mead just trying to salvage tires. But here's the thing, when Avocado pits, Avocado is going to be more than 34 seconds behind Mead, but Avocado's going to be on fresher rubber. I think Avocado is just going to blitz away without issue here. Andrew is also starting to close in on Ludicrous Speed, who is in 5th, and Rambo, while he is pulling away from Ludicrous, is not pulled away at the rate I thought he would. It seems like, with the exception of Avocado, the Lexuses are losing a bit of the pace that they've had. And yeah, Mead is not holding station with Andrew. Mead is actually falling into the clutches of PM and Shredder. Is there damage on Mead's car, I wonder? Has he misshifted and damaged the engine or something? I don't see any evidence of that being the case, but Mead is just not fast not fast. He was in clean air earlier, but now in dirty air in the middle of the field, he has lost a lot of his pace. He is getting caught, and we could see for the first time drivers actually make overtakes on the Lexus on merit, not off the back of the Lexus driver making a mistake. I think we could see PM make a dive on Mead and get by him on merit here going into turn 2. Here it comes. PM looks to the inside, has to back out of it, doesn't have the confidence to make it stick. But look at that. The Acura gets on his inside, makes a little bit of contact, and now the Acura is all sideways, and Shredder is right back behind PM again. Shredder is not going to make a move here. Trying to go side by side and make moves just kills your run so much, and the car ahead generally has such a massive advantage unless you just force them with your bumper off the racing line. So it's just a lot of just staying in line behind the car ahead of you and just hoping that they'll make a mistake. So PM has not been able to get by Mead, but Mead is showing a lot of speed loss. Avocado, 35 seconds ahead of Mead right now, and we believe Avocado is only going to make one more stop in this race. He pitted around lap 15. If Avocado pits next lap at the end of lap 34, he can probably put on the same tires and go to the end. If he wants to stretch his tires out a little longer, he might try and go soft to the end. Mead holding the extreme outside. PM tucked up behind. Now PM looks to the outside. Now Shredder looks to PM's outside. Both of them trying to guess where Mead's going to go to get a draft off of him. All three now lined up. PM looks to the inside. Drag race down the front straightaway. Shredder is going to head same line that PM is by. And that is the first time we've seen a driver overtake a Lexus. Now the Lexus dives into turn 2. PM on the outside, Mead on the inside. But the Acura should be able to get by. Mead gets the car sideways over a curb. And yes, Mead has lost the position on track to a non-Lexus driver. Mead's single stop strategy has fallen apart. Oh, and he slides wide in the next corner, and Shredder nearly gets him. The big thing, though, is that Mead's not going to have to pit again, and in the championship, he's fighting Dindu and Jay Caesar, and right now, at the rate this is going, they will still end up behind him once they make their next stop. So, all things considered, I think Mead has lost his chance at winning this race, but second is almost guaranteed, and when the guy who's winning the race is nowhere close to championship contention, and you're ahead of all your title rivals, I think Mead will take a second as a relaxing result because it will just let him further extend his lead in the points over Dindu and Jay Caesar. PM has scooted away from Mead significantly and has gotten away from Shredder. Now Shredder has muscled Mead off of the ideal line and has gotten his Mercedes ahead of the Lexus. Huh. It took a massive strategy mess up, but we are finally seeing the Lexus being weak against other cars. Mead is going to send it into turn 2. Shredder trapped on the outside, Mead on the inside. Almost a perfect repeat of last time, but this time Mead does not kick the car sideways on corner exit over the chicane. Shredder is the one who slides it all sorts of sideways. How in the world did they not wreck? Shredder was all sorts of sideways in front of Mead, and Mead didn't get into him, but he is still behind the Mercedes. It is incredibly obvious, though, that as this has gone on, the Lexuses have lost some of their pace. They are not as blitzing fast as they were in the first stint. I think as the track has rubbered up, all the other cars have gotten a little bit more grip, and all the Lexuses who may have had an extra grip early on, they probably still have some extra grip, but not as much as they did earlier. Now the Lexuses are just trying to rely on straight line speed advantage and not just, I think, a grip advantage. All right, so Mead will have, or should have, draft off of Shredder here. The thing is that Shredder is taking a nice tight line on corner exit here. And here's something else of interest. PM221 is catching Ludicrous speed as Ludicrous has been caught up behind AMS Andrew and has just not been able to get away from him, not been able to get behind him, or ahead. I mean, he's behind him, he's not been able to get ahead of him, making any moves. Cars that are faster in a single part of the track will by default end up ahead in fights, even if you're not faster over the full lap. As long as Ludicrous can't overtake Andrew in the straightaways, can't really beat any other car in the corners, so he's just kind of stuck. I think Ludicrous is faster than Andrew, but Andrew will beat him in every single corner, every single part of the track that Ludicrous will ever choose to fight him on. The Eternal Racing Conundrum. A car that is tuned out and maximized for mid-corner speed will be the fastest car in a race. However, a car that is set up for initial acceleration and straight line speed will almost always end up ahead in a fight against another car. That's the Eternal Racing Conundrum. As you can see, that Aston has just a little bit better acceleration coming onto the final banked corner, and while Ludicrous does have the draft, it's not going to be enough to let him counter the initial acceleration advantage that Andrew has. Andrew taking a bit of a defensive line into 2 this time, Ludicrous taking a more normal line, which lets the gap close up just a little bit once more. Mead has completely lost touch with Shredder here. So yeah, Avocado's decision to make 2 stops, I'm assuming he's doing a soft, medium, soft strategy. That decision is paying him gigantic dividends, so Avocado pretty much going to win this by default. I did say earlier I thought he was going to win by default with how much faster he was, but I thought he was going to try and make a 3-stop strategy. It looks like a 2-stop strategy, a soft, medium, soft, I believe, is going to be what gives him a win. The medium, medium, or hard, hard strategy that Mead is on, not sure which one it is, it's just not paying him the dividends that he needs. So PM has gotten tucked up behind Ludicrous. This is 3 cars, no Lexuses in this little three-way here, as they all try to figure out a way to get by each other. PM in the Acura, we know when PM's in the Acura and when Valkyrie's in the Acura, they're really able to maximize the Acura's initial accelerations. Pretty much got the only initial acceleration on par with the Lexuses right now. And look at that. PM just bullied Ludicrous on corner exit coming onto the final corner. And now PM is up to 6. So we are at a point now where we are seeing some overtakes on track by non-Lexuses. PM is moving up the grid. It is taking a while, but he is charging up the grid now. AMS Rambo has made his way by PTT J Caesar. Didn't do is still about 11 seconds ahead of Rambo. PM holds station over Ludacris. Still tucked up behind Andrew, but trying to find a way by. Might be a little bit harder. He's in the Aston's draft going down the straight. Again, initial acceleration out of the corner is the Acura's biggest strength. And there it is. He's to the inside. Kicks the car a little sideways coming out of the curb, but it is a drag race now for fifth. Andrew is on the outside, PM is on the inside. They are still side by side. And Ludacris is right there. He's getting the draft off both of them. Is he going to try and make it 3 wide? He looks, but there's no room. He'll give Andrew a bit of a push, but PM has the nose ahead. Into turn 1, Andrew wide. Ludacris tries to lunge. PM is going to go deep side by side through turn 2. And the Acura is by, and Ludacris is going to follow suit as Andrew is trapped on the outside. So the Acura, it may not be Valkyrie, but the Acura once again is showing that it is still keen on corner exit. And PM, who, I'm going to be honest, I feel like PM is not legitimately one of the top 5 fastest cars on lap time, but it's not matter. He's using the draft to catch other cars, and then he's just absolutely destroying everybody else on track once he gets to them. So NDL Avocado has made his final, what we believe will be his final pit stop. He'll try to make what I believe will be soft tires last 15 laps to the end of this race. AMS Andrew and Ludacris Speed are in a very intense fight. NDL Dindu is going to pit with Avocado this lap as well. So I think AMS Rambo might end up in the lead briefly here. Shredder gets right up behind Ludacris. Andrew still ahead of the Chevrolet. The Chevy had a better run this time out. Oh, and here we are. PM is going to pit. Andrew is going to pit. Ludacris is going to stay on track. And Shredder is going to pit. And yes, AMS Rambo now takes the lead with PTG J Caesar behind him. This is the real question I have, where is Mead going to be in relation to Avocado? And here's the sad answer that no one wanted to hear unless you were Avocado or someone who was really pulling for Avocado. The gap is 10 seconds in Avocado's favor. And again, Avocado, I believe, is going to be on soft tires to the end of this race. I'm going to be 100% honest, the way this is going, Avocado is going to likely start putting cars a lap down in this final stint. Rambo leads for the moment just ahead of PTG J Caesar. And unless Avocado has an accident, this is the race over. Avocado is guaranteed third. The question is going to be Mead. Mead is just so much slower on this set of tires that he is running to the end here. He has lost all the speed he had early on. Where is he going to be in relation to Rambo? And where is he going to be in relation to Dindu, the one driver we anticipate could break the Lexus power hold on the podium positions? The FB Matter will make a stop, so he will be the first driver to officially go a lap down here, and we know NFL Racer will join him in a little bit. So J Caesar now goes to the lead. He'll stay out a little longer, but oh my goodness, you can see that BMW is just not performing anywhere close to well, while Avocado is just absolutely destroying these corners, maximizing every one. Probably see Avocado overtake Caesar this lap, or at the very start of the next lap as they go down the front straightaway here. Ludicrous Speed runs in 3rd position right now ahead of AMS Mead. I have to wonder, is Ludicrous going to try and run this set of tires of his to the end? That's a dangerous strategy as he is almost in the 50% range of tire life right now. He might want to have to pit this time by just so he can jump on softs and actually make use of them. Mead is behind in the Lexus, though, and is not really running him down very quickly. Mead has a tire advantage, but has just been slow. Ludicrous has a gigantic tire disadvantage. I see no way that Ludicrous can make this work unless he jumps into the pits quickly to maximize a run on soft tires. And doing so, he'll likely drop well out of the top 5. AMS and Doctro now making what we believe will be his final stop of the day. Ludicrous is caught up behind the Lexus of TFB Matter. Clear him without issue around the outside. Alright, this is really just toying with food. How long is Avocado going to take to get by Jay Caesar? And the answer is no time at all. That fight is already over. So pretty much all the battles on the track are done. We know Avocado is going to win this race. The gap between himself and Mead is 13 seconds, over 13 seconds. And while Avocado will likely deal with some tire fall off at the end of this stint, it's not going to be enough to drag him back into Mead's clutches. Jay Caesar, how long is he going to stay on this set of tires? 49%. Ugh. Alright, and there's Ludicrous now paying out of 3rd as we anticipated. So this will move Mead into 3rd position. Jay Caesar has a 13 seconds advantage over Mead, and he needs to stay ahead of Mead to try and close in the points. But again, how bad the tires are going to be, I see no way he'll be able to maintain this 13-second gap, even with Mead being so much slower here. The interesting one to me is going to be Dindu. Can Dindu make it to the end on these tires or not? He is at 13%, so Dindu right now is holding station. He is the lone driver who seems to be in position to break the Lexus's monopoly on what could be the podium. Rambo, who is in 5th right now, is going to... we're pretty much guaranteed he's going to take home 4th once Jay Caesar pits. But he is 13 seconds behind Dindu. So, Rambo may not get a podium. That accident he had earlier might be what cost him a shot at a podium here. So Dindu could pull off the unexpected and bring home a podium. And it really is just no one is looking for it to happen. Could he run down Mead? Because that's the other question. If Dindu runs down Mead by race end and gets by him, he would be able to negate some of the, not most, but some of the points loss that he took at Hockenheim 2 weeks ago. Thing is, with how few races are left in the season, Mead needs to start having accidents or just not showing up to races if Dindu wants a shot. He's about 200 points out, and you earn 225 points for winning a race. So yes, if Dindu can catch Mead, it will help Dindu, but right now it's just not looking like that will be enough. He'll need Mead to start having massive issues. Rambo is 13 seconds behind. Dindu is closing in on Mead, though, and Rambo is slowly closing on Dindu, but with about 10 laps left, unless Rambo starts closing by over 2 seconds to lap on this Ferrari car, I don't see any way he gets him. Jay Caesar still running in 2nd. He kind of needs to do something wild here. With 10 laps left, and if he can keep tire life to about 1%, 1.1% a lap, Jay Caesar should be able to come home 2nd comfortably. If it's 1.3 or 1.4 a lap, he's going to be in trouble. Mead will be on him at the end of this. So PM221 and Ludicrous Speed have caught each other. They're in a fight for 6, and Ludicrous got into PM's rear and cut the Acura sideways. Now they come onto the banked corner. PM tighter line, Ludicrous wider line. The Acura is just so much better on initial corner exit. Ludicrous runs behind Andrew, who had been ahead of this duel earlier, has slipped behind him and has pretty much lost touch, even though he's had dominance in individual corners. At this stage of the event, that's just not going to do anything unless the drivers ahead make a mistake. Then if they make a mistake, Andrew can get back by and use his dominance in corner exits to stay ahead of these cars. Even then, with how good PM has been in that Acura, it might not matter. If Jay Caesar pits, I think Jay Caesar will still be ahead of this fight. So this is not a fight for top 5 positions. And Jay Caesar is pitting now. So yeah, I anticipate that Jay Caesar will still be ahead of this trio. If I'm wrong, it would be interesting, but I'm pretty sure that Jay Caesar will come out in 5th still. So now Mead moves up into the 3rd spot, and Dindu will move up into 4th. Already, though, Jay Caesar's rolling on pit lane. So yeah, Jay Caesar will end up in 5th behind AMS Rambo. So that'll be a potential fight to keep an eye on, because Rambo has not been very clean. Again, he brought up the only yellow flag we've had thus far. Rambo's not been very clean. If Rambo has an instant, Jay Caesar might get by him for 4th. The gap between them is 5 seconds at the moment, so Jay Caesar needs to start running that Lexus down and doing it quickly. Speaking of which, fight for 2nd is alive. Dindu has caught Mead in the final stretch here. Avocado is 20 seconds up from this fight. For the last 2 steps on the podium. And a championship fight as well. Mead, since pitting, has shown a tremendous loss of speed. Dindu has maintained his pace all day long. This would significantly help Dindu in his championship quest, even if it's an outside quest. Does he look to the inside? He does! He lunges! They made contact, they were side by side under braking, and the Ferrari is by! And the Lexuses, which were so thoroughly dominant all day today, are seeing 2 of their cars unravel in the latter stages, and a Ferrari is now positioned for 2nd. It would be Dindu's 2nd straight 2nd place finish, his 3rd straight top 2. And if the gap in the points weren't so massive, this would be great news for Dindu's championship quest. But as it is now, Mead would still be over 200 points, I believe, ahead of the Ferrari driver. And Mead is 12 seconds up from Rambo right now, and I don't know if he's going to get caught by him. One thing, though, is that while I don't think Dindu can close a lot on Mead here in the points fight, with Jay Caesar back in 5th, Dindu could really close in on Jay Caesar. We may not have a fight for the championship, but we may have an interesting fight for 2nd in points. Reminder, Dindu missed a race earlier in the season and is trying to dig himself out of that hole. Caesar showed up to every race, but has shown a lot more weaknesses. His performance has been a lot more sketchy throughout the year. So also, while we've been looking at this, AMS Andrew did get back by Ludicrous and PM. I apologize for missing this, but I do think the fight for the podium spots and potential championship is a little bit more interesting, so I do apologize for that. But Andrew has gotten back by Ludicrous and PM has fallen behind Ludicrous once more, and Shredder is back there in 9th. So if this duo in 7th and 8th fight too long, they will drag Shredder back into the fray. Well, this has absolutely not had any of the ingredients for a good race. A lot of drivers have done their best to put on a decent show, and we applaud them and thank them for that. Did Andrew just miss the corner? Yes, and so did Ludacris. Ludacris followed him offline. Now PM is right there. Was that enough of a mistake for PM to make a lunge? No. But now this trio is all on top of each other once more. Andrew made a big mistake and has shown some weakness here. Right on board with the Acura PM. There'll be 5 laps to go with the leader against the line. Andrews gets that corner kick totally sideways, coming onto the banking this time. And Ludacris has a big run on Andrew, and PM has a run on Ludacris as well. Andrew drifts a little wide. Here comes Ludacris to the inside. PM's tucked up behind Andrew. Is he going to go to the outside to make it 3 wide? Yes, they're going to be 3 wide. Ever so briefly, Ludacris completes the overtake before turn 1. PM backs out of it. Andrew's going to lunge to the inside of turn 1. Misses the apex. Ludacris is wide. Now PM gets to the inside. There, 3 wide again. And it's Andrew who gets out of there, and PM is still not completing the overtake on Ludacris. Now he's through. Andrew is showing some incredible weakness here. And PM and Ludacris are hounding him over it. But for now, the Aston is good enough on corner exit that he's able to just barely keep these cars behind. The PM has been better than Andrew on corner exit. On the initial application of throttle. Is that going to be enough for PM to get by Andrew? We saw him get by him in this exact same circumstance earlier in the race, coming out of the bank corner. Can he do it again this time? Tucked up behind. Can he replicate the move he made earlier? No, I don't think so. He's not close enough. Car got a little bit sideways under braking. But he is right there. He is tucked up behind the Aston Martin. Nose to tail as they come onto the front stretch once again. PM looks to the outside. Andrew is going to run a defensive inside line. Ludacris is falling off the duo just a little bit. At the line, Andrew still has the nose ahead. PM outside. Andrew inside. They're sideways. They make a lot of contact. Side by side in turn 2. Andrew inside. PM still outside. And PM slides a tire into the dirt and will not be able to hold the position. As expected. Can't make an overtake on the outside unless the driver on the inside gets all the traction knocked out of the car. Now Ludacris is tucked back up behind PM. And Shredder has caught Ludacris' speed as well. So these 3, PM, Ludacris, and Shredder, they were 3 of our 4 championship contenders back in Season 1. And once again, they all 3 find each other on track. Neither Andrew or PM had a good run onto the straight this time, and now Ludacris is going to be the one pressuring PM this time by. Ludacris to the inside of PM, drag race at the line. The Chevy's nose is just barely ahead. He'll have the inside line of choice. This is where he wants to be. PM's on wide. He's into the dirt. He's all sorts of sideways, all sorts of twisted up, and Ludacris will easily complete the overtake. So now the drivers are in a position where they're just trying to force other cars into mistakes. If you trap the other car on the outside, you may have a shot at making it. I think as the track has rubbered up, overtaking has become a possibility for cars that are not Lexuses. It took about half the race for the track to get rubbered up enough to do that, but that does seem to be the case. And now SRD Shredder is the one who is closing in, and Andrew missed the corner. Andrew missed the corner, and Ludacris is by. Andrew ruined the corner, and Ludacris is through. It's not going to be a top 5 position, But in all honesty, this is probably the best race I've seen Ludacris run all season long, even with the mistakes he's had, because he's had quite a few of them. Basically everyone who's not the top 2 have had mistakes today. But this is going to be a top 6. This could be a really, really defining result for him. Andrew is going to be behind, though, and PM is still close enough as well to maybe make something happen, but I think PM's more focused about Shredder behind. Andrew has a big run on the Chevrolet going down the straight. Can he make a dive into turn 2? Here comes the dive. Really deep under braking. And he will get by. Yeah. Lucas may have a faster lap, but that Aston goes so much deeper under braking and has just enough of an acceleration advantage that there is not a single thing the Chevrolet can do to fight back. But Andrew's been a little bit more mistake prone. Honestly, a lot more mistake prone than Ludacris has. Only our top 10 cars are still on the lead lap at this stage of the race with 2 laps to go, so whatever happens, we will not have any more yellows in this event. Chris looking to the inside. This is not an area you usually want to make an overtake at, but he's gone for it. He's lunged. He's to the inside. He's got the position. Andrew's going to be on the wider line. And there's PM. Now all of a sudden, PM is back into the fray. Andrew outside, PM inside. Lucas defends the inside. PM goes below the double yellow and gets the car all sorts of sideways. And that brings Shredder back into the fray. Andrew now right behind Ludacris. How aggressively is Ludacris going to defend? Andrew lunges. He's already by the Chevrolet going through turn 1. But he runs into the dirt this time, and Andrew made the biggest mistake of them all, and now he will fall to 9th. Ludacris will retake 6th position. And it's still not over because he still has PM behind him, and he still has Shredder behind him. Not really any other fights on track for position right now. It's this little fray for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Andrew is about 2 seconds out. He might, if Shredder makes a mistake, he might catch Shredder, but I don't know if he can do a whole lot more than that. PM is going to be a little bit faster in this section here, but he still has Shredder right behind him. The thing is, Shredder has just not really had any speed. I don't think Shredder has made a single overtake on merit. I think every overtake he has made has been off of strategy or off the back of the car ahead, making a mistake. Ludacris is going to hold the inside. Matter is going to hold the outside, but Ludacris is actually going to end up getting a draft off of Matter down the front straightaway. We'll try and dispose of the Lexus nice and cleanly here. 4-7, Shredder looks to the inside, can't. Just does not have it. Lexus is going to deny this duo a chance of going side by side through here. I think that's pretty much going to decide it. So at the front, Avocado will take home an easy victory on a 2-stop strategy. I believe the soft, medium, soft. Second place, though, is going to be interesting. That will go to Didn't Do. This fight is still not over, though, for 6th. We'll look at that as they come to the line here. But NDL Didn't Do will slightly close in the gap on Green 10th up for leader. Massively closed down as he has his 3rd straight top 2 finish here in the Ferrari. Great job by Didn't Do. 3rd is going to go to Mean, who, for the first time this season, has had that one-stop strategy absolutely snakebite him, but he will still continue his solid run in the championship fight. Rambo will bring home the 3rd Lexus to a 4th place finish. PTGJ Caesar will see the title continue to slip even farther away. Ludacris, while it's not his best measure this season, might have a season-defining result. Here comes the fight for 7. PM has it on Shredder. They are nose to tail as they come out of the final corner. The Mercedes has a run. The Honda is going to block hard to the inside. It's going to be neck and neck at the line. Who's it going to be? PM just over Shredder. Andrew's got to be way outlined. they both wash into the dirt afterwards. Try and talk with our top. Honestly, I want to talk with our top 6 finishers. I'm really interested in seeing what Ludacris would have to say about this race as well. But yeah, that was a interesting event, to say the least. Probably not interesting in the ways that you want it to be, but that was definitely interesting. Still haven't gotten anyone in the party yet. Don't know what's going on there. Huh. Okay. I guess maybe Xbox is doing weird stuff with the parties. Can any of you guys hear me? Alright. Alright, cool. Still haven't gotten anything from our race winner, Avocado. Can someone send him an invite in also real quickly? Here, let me see. Let me check. I checked this. Yeah, it might be a setting on my end. How about now? Yeah, all right. Real quickly, if anyone can invite Avocado in, feel free to, because I don't seem to be having any luck doing that. But first, I want to go ahead and start with our 6th place finisher, Ludacris Speed. Ludacris, go ahead, include your audio. I'm going to be honest, not your best finish of the season, but from what I saw, that's probably the best drive you've had all season long. What do you have to say about your run out there?
Well, I wasn't prepared for an interview because I thought only top 5 get invited, but here I am. Started out strong, I guess. Got six seconds ahead of that pack I was fighting with at the end. And after the caution, I thought I was okay to continue as planned with a medium soft strat. But they adjusted and went their final 2 stints with softs. I didn't think they could, but I guess they did. And from there I realized, oh god, I gotta pick it up here. And luckily, I didn't lose enough time. When I came out on my last pit, I figured, okay, it's gonna be one of these where strategy's not gonna do it. It's gonna have to be a fist fight to the end.
Well, quite a fist fight it was. You and Andrew, Shredder, and PM all trading blows and swapping positions constantly those last few laps. Honestly, in a race that had almost no overtakes done by non-Lexuses, I think you and PM and Andrew basically made up all of the driver skill overtakes by non-Lexus cars today.
I guess. I do want to say, though, I do want to apologize on air to PM for the wonky block I threw on him on the speedway section. I thought he had been below the yellow line, so I just went ahead and started to take the racing line and didn't realize he still had a little bit of his car in there, and when you're going that fast and you touch apron, you're going to start sliding. So I might get a penalty for that. I might not. I don't know how the stewards are going to rule it, but honestly, I had fun in the end, and again, sorry to PM for the weird block.
Yeah, well, we did see an A angle of that from the broadcast as well, so there will always be that. But anyways, thanks for jumping in and talking with us. I want to go ahead and talk with our 5th place finisher now, PTG J Caesar. Caesar, go ahead, include your audio. That was rough, to say the least. And honestly, of all the races you've said that the car has been the issue and not you, I think this is probably the most indicative. Include your audio. What do you have to say about your run out there?
Yeah, so I know I'm quite vocal about the car, but I don't think for this particular week that the car was strong here. I don't think this track was suiting its abilities. I think that really showed with the amount of Lexuses being crazy fast. I think there was about a difference overall of 6 to 7 tenths maybe between the BMW to the Lexuses, especially at the top end. I think that's a little bit too far. That said, it was an interesting drive. It was good enough. I enjoyed it. Medium, soft strat. I thought would be probably optimal for this week. But yeah, I think fifth is about as best as I could have hoped for.
Well, fifth place, your title rival came home third. Honestly, it looks like you may be more in a fight for second in driver points against Didn't Do to the end of the season. But we do have a few tracks left. Do you have any expectations for yourself for the last 4 races of the season?
I don't know. Like I said last time out, Road America might be a good one for the BMW. It flows nice. It should be a good one for the car, but again, it just depends on how the car plays on track and yeah, the bop. And I'm quite vocal, but it's been a thing now week in and week out that the car seems to be hit and miss. Some weeks I'm right up there within a couple of tenths, and then others like this week I'm 6-7 tenths off the pace. You know, I don't want to sound cocky or arrogant, but a player of my caliber doesn't just magically lose that kind of chunk of time to your competitors. So I think something needs looking at more in terms of the bop, so that, you know, the cars are closer, much closer. Thirsty.
All right, well, thanks for jumping in, talking with us. We'll be looking forward to what you can do at Road America. Now I want to talk with our 4th place finisher, AMS Rambo. Rambo, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the best finish you've had all season long. And
Yep.
What a run to this result as well. Go ahead and include your audio. What do you have to say about your race today?
Well, my wheel saved me. That's where the pace has come from. I've run pad all season, and I've got experience in other games using the wheel for years. And the pad, I've just not a good race pace, and I've moved to the wheel, and I've gained loads of time. So I was dead happy with the car. The setup, we've spent ages working on it because this car's ridiculously unstable. I know that it looks like there's a BOP, and there is a BOP issue, because stuff like the BMW and the Viper being completely off is stupid. But I don't feel like the Lexus is that quick compared to other cars at the top. I feel like it's just the best drivers are in it. Matter couldn't do the same that we could, so I feel like the softs, after I had my crash, I was on soft, and they could last 15 laps, so that's where all the pace came from, and I'm just happy that I was able to get in that zone and have some good racing with some guys. Clean racing today, so I'm quite happy.
All right, also, in that big accident that happened the first few laps, what exactly happened there? From my perspective, it looked like the car just washed out in the draft, but was there anything else more particular that happened in that incident?
A skill issue. I hit the wall on the inside.
Oof.
And
your
what
teammate Indoctro just, I guess, didn't get the message in time, considering the
That
speed
was
he
also
slammed into you at.
That was also a skill issue from him, so yeah. It was a good race though, good comeback. I enjoyed it.
All right, well, 4th place finish in the most overpowered car in the grid will bring Rambo his best result this season. Now I want to talk about our 3rd place finisher, AMS Mead. Mead, for the first time this season, the one-stop strategy absolutely did not work out, but you'll increase your points lead. Go ahead and include your audio. What do you have to say about your run today?
Yeah, the one start was not the way to go at all. I thought I could try and do it again, but that first caution kind of gave me a problem of I didn't know if I should have switched or not. If it wasn't for the caution, I would have realised it wouldn't have been a good strategy and I would have switched, but yeah, I realised way too late when I was losing 5 seconds a lap on worn out mediums, and then I had to go into the hards to actually make it to the end of the race. But it was a good race though. I had good battles, but if we did the other layout of this track, it would have been a lot better race. And I think instead of going full circuit normal, if we did the reverse, it would have been a lot safer and better.
Well, I will say though, 3rd place in the Lexus. You continue your run of results near the top of the grid. There's only about 4 races left. Do you think there's a possibility you'll be able to wrap up the championship a week or 2 early?
I very much doubt that. I'm going to have to still turn up to every single one if I can to be able to wrap it up. There's always something that's going to happen, or someone's always going to catch up at least.
All right, well, I appreciate your honesty. Still, third place, all things considered, good job, I guess. I mean, you did have the fastest car and brought home a third with it, but I think everyone was expecting more. Anyways, thanks for jumping in and talking with us, unless you have anything else you want to say.
No, it's all good. Well done to Avocado on his win.
All right, and now I want to go ahead and talk with our second place finisher, Indiel Dindu. Dindu, you have been on a tear. A win at Spa, second place at Hockenheim, second place here. You're on a heck of a run, and you're running down the gap between yourself and Jay Caesar pretty quickly. And you did this all not running the overpowered Lexus. What do you have to say about your run today? Because that was incredible.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty quiet race. I knew what I had to do. I just had to just did it. A few missed strategies, I would say. But like I say, I don't want like focusing on, you know, if my car's worse. Like, you know, I know what I have and I know what I can do with it, and just I think it's important to maximize what you know you can do. And I think that's really helped me these past few rounds. You know, not trying to dwell too much on maybe Lexus fast or whatever. But yeah, hopefully you can continue this the next few rounds and keep closing that gap.
All right, 4 races left. Are there any tracks left on the schedule that you particularly are looking forward to because you think they may or may not play to the Ferrari's strengths?
I think Silverstone might be good. I quite like the track and has some pretty technical bits. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm excited for all of them. Hopefully all can go well.
All right, well, thanks for jumping in and talking with us. I have tried several times to reach out to Avocado. I have not been able to do so. I'm not sure what's up with that, and I do apologize that we're not going to be able to get an interview with our race winner, Avocado. But big story of the day is the Lexus dominance, and I turned the broadcast interview to SRD Shredder, not as a driver, but as an official. Shredder, go ahead and include your audio. Lexuses seem to be 3/4 of a second a lap faster all day long. How in the world did that happen? Not to mention just overtaking in general seemed to be impossible without drivers ahead making big mistakes. What happened?
I think the Lexus issue may be a GT Series Season 3 issue with the Bentley, where like it can be absolutely broken depending on how you tune it. So I'm gonna have to look into like different ways of how to like work out what's making it so quick and then adapt the builds from there and see what I can do there.
What about the circuit? What about the circuit? Initially, this is supposed to be Road Atlanta. We know Road Atlanta can have lots of overtakes. We've seen it before. Ended up getting swapped out for Sunset, and we saw no on-track overtakes on merit for the first half of the race. And there was only about 10 on-merit overtakes made in the last half of the race, not counting Lexus's. What in the world led to the track change decision?
I think the issue mainly comes down to me just completely forgetting about the rear end draft funny thing happening. If I remembered that, we probably would run the reverse layout, which has a lot less chances of being fucked into places.
So you think it was just the layout that was the problem more than anything else, and that kept people
the
from
layout
making
and the
moves?
game stacked on top of each other, making it sort of like no one really wants to make a move just in case they do get the funny moments happening.
All right, fair enough. Well, next race I believe is Road America. Am I correct?
Yep, next week.
All right, so we'll be looking forward to the results from next week. Hopefully the balancing will be a little bit better looking then. But until that time, I have been your host, InsaneLeader13. Thank you very much, everyone, for jumping in and watching today's event, as weird and scuffed as it was. And we'll see you next week. Till then, farewell and goodbye.